Good morning. It's Thursday, March 26th. Here's what we're working on this morning. Ontario is set to unveil its 2026 budget amid global economic uncertainty.
More on the backlash against the English-only condolence message from Air Canada's CEO.
Outcome beliefs. It's Michelli over the line. Joshua scores!
And make that 2 in a row for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Good morning. It is much milder this morning, Brian, compared to yesterday, and I'm liking it.
Yeah, all I had to do was erase the minus sign in front of the temperature this morning from yesterday. Yeah, that's right. You take the old pencil with the eraser on the end. Yeah. I did it. Nobody will notice. So yeah, yesterday we were -4. This morning we are +4. So yeah, milder temperatures are pushing in. We also had a little bit of shower activity throughout the overnight around midnight, 1 o'clock. We had some showers push through, so still some wetness. Oh, but talk about some wetness. We do have some showers, some rain in the forecast for the day today. It's going to be a cloudy day, but it will be a mild day. We should hit 13 degrees today. That would be mid-afternoon, and then the temperature will start to fall off. We could even get some thunderstorm activity later on this afternoon. And tonight, again, the showers will continue. Could be some heavy downpours and some accumulation as well. And I'll talk about all of that coming up in a few minutes. As I said, right now, we're on the plus side at +4. So traffic this morning, fine, no problems. It's not in 601, so what's going on here? Not a lot. 403 Waterdown Road looks good. So we'll check some MTO traffic cameras. Stony Creek is doing fine. Grays Road camera looks good. Toronto bound away from us. Same here, top of the Skyway. Oh, that camera just was there. Funny how that happens. QEW at the Ford plant, nothing there. So we're all looking good this morning. Take it carefully. We'll look at weather and traffic coming up right now. The news.
Thank you, Brian. Hamilton police are urging the public to be cautious when buying and selling items online following the city's 14th marketplace-related robbery this year. Police say a husband and wife arranged to sell an iPhone through Facebook Marketplace and agreed to meet the buyer at their home. The buyer was with 2 other people, and the couple saw that the group looked uneasy. The suspects fled on foot with the phone. The husband chased after them but ended up being sprayed with bear spray. Police are strongly recommending people meet in a public place, check profiles carefully, bring someone with you, use secure payment methods, and ultimately trust your instincts.
The Ontario budget to be tabled this afternoon is not expected to have any tax increases. Finance Minister Peter Bethlenfalvy has signaled the province has a plan for tougher times ahead as the U.S. trade war continues and global conflicts impact Ontario's economy. The provincial deficit earlier this year was $13.4 billion. The overall debt in 2025, $460 billion. Economists have warned against any more big-ticket government spending because of what's expected to be another turbulent year.
There's going to be a temporary extension of HST rebates on newly built homes in Ontario for a full year. Last year, the Ontario and federal government offered the 13% rebate for first-time home buyers. A proposal in today's provincial budget will see the rebate expanded to anyone buying a new house. Homes valued up to $1.5 million qualify for a maximum amount of $130,000. It's part of the Ontario government's effort to boost home construction. It hopes it will spark an additional 8,000 housing starts.
I think 8,000 is reasonable, but I also think it's one of the benefits of doing this just for a single year is that we can get a sense of, the impact this has. Is it enough? Are there other changes that we need to make?
Housing policy researcher Mike Moffat says the biggest benefit for this rebate will be found on single-family homes.
The CEO of Air Canada is being summoned to testify at the House of Commons Official Languages Committee. Michael Rousseau has faced heavy criticism for his English-only video message of condolence after Sunday's deadly crash at LaGuardia's airport in New York. One of the pilots killed is from Quebec. Quebec's provincial government and the Premier have called for his resignation, accusing Rousseau of having, quote, disdain towards Canada's Francophone Committee. After boasting in 2021 that he lived in Montreal for 14 years without learning the language, Rousseau had pledged that he would learn French. The Prime Minister says the video shows a lack of judgment and compassion.
we proudly live in a bilingual country. And companies like Air Canada particularly have a responsibility to always communicate in both official languages, regardless of the situation.
Air Canada defended Rousseau's message, adding it included subtitles in French. The Office of the Commissioner of Official Languages has received more than 800 complaints about Rousseau's video.
U.S. President Donald Trump says a deal to end the Iran war is near. His comments came after Tehran dismissed the president's 15-point ceasefire plan and issued its own sweeping demands to stop fighting as it launched more attacks on Israel and Gulf Arab countries. Two officials from Pakistan described the 15-point U.S. proposal broadly, saying it included sanctions relief, a rollback of Iran's nuclear program, limits on missiles, and reopening the Strait of Hormuz, through which a fifth of the world's oil is normally shipped. Iran issued its own plates via state TV, which includes a halt to killings of its officials, means to make sure no other war is waged against it, reparations for the war, the end of hostilities, and Iran's sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz.
Canada's Army commander says the military will continue investigating and modernization as part of a long-term plan. The federal budget includes just over $81 billion over 5 years for defense spending. The goal is to improve training, equipment, and readiness for current and future conflicts. Dozens of projects are underway, including new weapon systems and stronger air defense, especially in the Arctic, while recruiting more personnel is still a top priority.
Several First Nations are calling for an investigation into delays at the Canadian Human Rights Commission over complaints about fire service funding. The demand follows a deadly house fire in northwestern Ontario that killed a young child and injured 2 others. The communities argue Ottawa has failed to provide adequate funding for fire protection on reserves and say their case has seen little movement. They warn that continued inaction could lead to further tragedies.
Juno winner Susan Gluckart has held a special performance in Ohsweken. The Indigenous Performance Arts Alliance hosted a luncheon yesterday to honor the Inuk singer-songwriter. The event celebrates Gluckart's groundbreaking career and the release of her new book, Kini Ani, a memoir of healing. In it, she tells how art helped her navigate trauma and reclaim her identity.
I feel like I had reached a point in my career, 30 years, over 30 years, where there was something to tell. You know, there has been a lot. There's a lot more to come, is our plan and our hope. But it was time to share some of the real important moments in my life that brought me here and kept me here.
Gluckart is an officer of the Order of Canada and was the first Inuit artist to win a Juno Award. Speaking of, preparations for Juno weekend continue in downtown Hamilton. Several streets downtown around TD Coliseum the roads have been closed or they have lane restrictions. There's a Juno kickoff concert tonight at the Music Hall with the Red Hill Valleys and Robin Ottolini, and a Juno comedy show tonight at Levity. The awards themselves are Sunday night, and our Simone Gavros is going to be there on the red carpet. Well, as the Toronto Blue Jays get ready to open their 50th season, there is plenty to celebrate at Rogers Centre. Memorabilia from the team's history, including their 2 World Series trophies, are going to be on display on the 100-level concourse this season. There are lots of new food options at the concessions and on the new luxury spot, the Rogers Terrace. And there's plenty of new Jays merchandise for fans. The Jays host the Oakland Athletics in Toronto's home opener tomorrow night. First pitch to the sold-out game is just after 7 o'clock.
Maple Leafs are supposed to be in tank mode, but for the first time since the Olympic break, Toronto has won 2 games in a row.
Out come the Leafs. It's Michelli over the line. Joshua scores!
Joseph Wall made 40 saves and collected his first career point in the NHL with an assist on the eventual game-winning goal as the Leafs knocked off the Rangers 4-3. Jake McCabe, Nick Robertson, Dakota Joshua, and John Tavares scored for Toronto, while Mika Zibanejad potted a pair for New York. Now, some Blue Jays players were in attendance last night, like George Springer and Ernie Clement, who were sitting in the wrong seats to begin the game. Toronto is 21st in the NHL and on the way to missing the playoff. Who hasn't been there? Toronto on their way to missing the playoffs for the first time since 2016. The loss officially eliminating New York from playoff contention for a second year in a row. Poor guys. They were just looking for their seats. Pavel Zacha scored 38 seconds in overtime as Boston slipped past the Sabres 4-3. The Bruins moving 3 points ahead of the Senators and Islanders for the first of 2 wildcard spots in the East. The extra point for the overtime loss pushed Buffalo into a tie with Carolina atop the Eastern Conference. It was right back into the loss column for the Raptors a couple of days after beating Utah. Toronto got demolished 119-94 by their old pal Kawhi and the Clippers last night. Leonard scored 27 points and Darius Garland added 24 as LA handed the Raps their 3rd loss in 4 games and dropped Toronto to 6th place in the East. Brandon Ingram led TO with 18 points. By the way, Hamilton Shea Gilgeous-Alexander scored 33, but Oklahoma City lost 119-109 in Boston. The Blue Jays have named their 26-man roster for opening day. Outfielder Davis Schneider and reliever Spencer Miles earned the last 2 spots, while infielder Leo Jimenez and reliever Angel Bastardo were designated for assignment. Pitchers Trey Savage, Jose Barrios, Shane Bieber, and Jimmy Garcia will all start the season on the 15-day injured list, while outfielder Anthony Santander is on the 10-day injured list. The Jays open their 50th season tomorrow night when they host the A's. After leading the Saskatchewan Roughriders to their first Grey Cup since 2013 last season, Corey Mace has been named the 2025 CFL Coach of the Year. The Riders were a league-best 12-6 last year and won their 9th West Division title. The Roughriders also received the inaugural Ted Govaya Football Operations Award for having the best football ops department. Hamilton's Ron Foxcroft was presented the Hugh Campbell Distinguished Leadership Award for his decades-long support of the CFL. Hamilton Tiger Cats are gearing up to watch draft-eligible players at the CFL Combine this coming weekend, and I asked head coach Scott Milanovich yesterday how the team evaluates measurables versus intangibles ahead of the draft on April 28th.
The measurables are important. They've got to have enough talent, athletic ability to be able to put themselves in position to make the plays. I think the thing that separates this part of it, and we've had long conversations, is how do you put a metric on a guy's heart and his will to win? And that's, I think, where the variability comes in between, guys like, I always pull out guys like SJ Green, guys like Simone Lawrence, guys like Chad Owens. If you have, 40-some guys like that on your team, you're not going to lose. I think that's what separates the people that are really good at doing this and the people that can struggle.
CFL Combine kicks off tomorrow in Edmonton. And Game 2 of the Robertson Cup final goes tonight at 7:30 at the Harry Howell Arena, where Wentworth leads Stony Creek 1-0.
All right, 6:13 is the time, 26th morning of March. It's Thursday now, and we're going to check traffic first of all before we get to our all-important forecast. Nothing here. 403 Waterdown Road's doing fine. So roads in the Hamilton area are okay, except for on the mountain in Hamilton. Fennel and Upper Ottawa area, we have a structure fire, and it's they're going to be blocking, and they are blocking some roads around there. That's Fennel and Upper Ottawa. To some MTO traffic cameras. We'll start in St. Catharines, QEW east of Lake, no problems at all. Grays Road still looks good. Fairview, other side of the Skyway, usually starts to build, but it's moving nicely now. Ford Plant looks good. Same with Dixie Road. No problems on the highways. All right, let's get into our temperature that we have right now. Temperature this morning on the mild side, we got to 9. Yeah, we actually got to 9 degrees yesterday. It was a beautiful day with that sun, but today we're sitting at 4 degrees already. We do have a little bit more cloud cover this hour than we had last. It's a partly cloudy sky. The winds are light, and we are going to see rain settling in today. Rain, chance even of a thunderstorm later on this afternoon, but that temperature is going to hit 13 degrees today. The winds will be light from the southwest. We did have a little precipitation go by right about there throughout the overnight, around midnight to 1 o'clock. And what we have now is another low pressure system getting closer with a frontal boundary and a cold front. That's going to drop our temperature significantly after a mild day today, but we're going to get back into some sunshine for tomorrow, and it looks like some sun for the weekend, but temperatures are going to be subdued after today. But today, temperatures 13, even 14 degrees, 12 for Halton Peel, Toronto. But showers and thunderstorms are possible for later on this afternoon. They'll continue tonight. Tonight we could get 10 to 15 millimeters of precipitation, but temperatures fall into the minus column, -4, 5, 7, even -10 for Guelph and Kitchener. Wind chill values about -7. And then tomorrow we'll climb to the plus side, but we'll have some sun. Temperatures 1, 2, and 3, so significantly cooler for the day tomorrow. So what we have out the door this morning, 26th of March, temperature plus side 4, but partly cloudy. Long range coming up. Annette, right.
Thank you, Brian. Coming up after the break, we're going to say good morning to Emily. She'll have a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat this morning. And in business news, vacation home prices in Canada are expected to rise this year. More on that in a moment. Good morning to Emily Vukovic. What is coming up in Chit Chat this morning, Emily?
Hi, good morning. Well, we'll take a look at the first trailer for HBO's new Harry Potter series after seeing the photos yesterday.
Yes. Now there's moving photos.
It's like a teaser trailer,
yes.
And then we're going to have the trailer, and then the second trailer.
Oh, yeah.
And then the final trailer.
Yeah. And then we'll see the whole series.
Yeah.
Late night host Stephen Colbert has announced his next move after his late night talk show ends in May.
This is very interesting, too.
It's a good segue,
Yes.
for sure. And later on this morning, 2 longtime cast members that I remember will be leaving Grey's Anatomy at the end of the season. So spoiler alert, if you still watch the show, you might want to skip that chit-chat.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Emily. Checking out the markets this morning, the Canadian dollar is down, sitting at 72.30 cents U.S. Gold also down $113 an ounce. Oil is up almost $2.50 to $92.80 U.S. a barrel. In midday European trading, London, Frankfurt, and Paris all down this hour.
Looking at the Asian markets, Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Shanghai all down today, most by triple digits. North American markets all closed ahead on Wednesday, the TSX gaining more than 400 points.
Vacation home prices in Canada are expected to rise this year, despite demand being tempered by concerns about the economy and global turmoil. A report by Royal LePage forecasts a 4% increase in the median price of a single-family home in Canada's so-called recreational regions compared with last year. Ontario is expected to see a 2% gain to a median price of more than $640,000. BC is the priciest province to own a recreational home, with a median price over $1 million. And Royal LePage is forecasting a 1.5% increase there this year.
A jury in California has delivered a crushing blow to Meta and YouTube. It's found both companies liable on all counts of intentionally addicting a young woman to their platforms and injuring her mental health. The young woman is now 20 years old and says she developed anxiety, body dysmorphia, and suicidal thoughts after using the platforms. The court ordered the companies to pay $3 million. Meta is responsible for 70% of that, YouTube 30%. The decision could set a precedent for hundreds of other cases working their way through courts in the United States. Meta says it will consider its options, which suggests an appeal is likely. It's interesting that Snapchat and TikTok were originally also named as defendants in this, and both settled before the case went to trial.
Ottawa has raised the catch limit for juvenile eels in the Maritimes. The government increased the allowable catch by 22% this year, citing a healthy population and the success of last year's relatively peaceful season. The Alver fishery was shut down in 2024 after illegal fishing, driven by soaring prices, led to violence and arrests on many rivers. Some non-Indigenous commercial fishers have complained that the system has been undermined by some First Nations unwilling to follow the rules. The Alver market is highly lucrative, with most exported to Asia, sometimes for as much as $5,000 a kilogram.
We're taking a quick break right now. Brian is going to be back with your traffic and 7-day forecast.
Good morning. Just about 6:24 on this Thursday morning. We are looking at one problem on the QEW. It's Niagara bound coming towards us, going through Mississauga, just about at the Ford plant. We're trying to get off onto Ford Drive, and we have a disabled vehicle. It is blocking partially the right lane and the right shoulder block through there. Visual distraction as well, but that's Niagara bound. Back into St. Catharines at 7th. Looks good. Top of the Skyway Bridge getting a little bit busier than the last time. Same here with Third Line. How about Eglinton on the 403, almost at the 401? Nope, not a lot going on except for that one disabled vehicle right around the Ford plant going Niagara bound. All right, to our temperatures that we have. We are on the mild side this morning. Temperatures have, well, they went up to 9 yesterday, and they've only fallen to 4 for Hamilton, 3 for Mississauga, Toronto, 5 into Grimsby at the moment. So seasonal temperatures are 7 for the daytime high, so we beat that yesterday, and -2 for the overnight low. Sun times, records right there today. Yeah, it's going to be an unsettled day today. We're going to have a lot of cloud cover for the first spell and 11 degrees, and well, we should climb to our forecast high of 13, and then by after school, the temperature should start to drop. Showers, thunderstorms for the afternoon, and 11 degrees for after school. So the forecast high today is 13, but that'll go up, and then it'll start to fall off later on with showers and thunderstorms. -5 tonight. Wind chill about actually -9. So it's going to be cold tonight. And then we'll only climb to 2 for the day tomorrow. So the chillier air is going to flood in. But at least the skies will clear. We'll get some sun tomorrow. Some sun again for Saturday and Sunday. 0 only on Saturday. And then we'll climb to 6 degrees for Sunday. Temperature comes up Monday, but right down again on Tuesday. That's your forecast. Annette, Ray.
Thanks, Brian. We have an update to Punch, the lonely baby monkey at a Japanese zoo.
So the baby macaque went viral for clinging to a stuffed toy. It showed him holding tight to the plush companion after being abandoned by his mother and struggling to bond with other monkeys. But things have turned around. Oh. Look at this. The 7-month-old, he's now 7-month-old, is thriving, playing, hugging, and socializing with his group. He has even found a new best friend. It's another macaque named Mo.
Punch and Mo. Sounds
Punch
like
and
a
Mo. I like
successful rock band. Punch and Mo. Maybe a jazz band. This is Punch and Mo here. Looks like Mo is like Punch. I'm writing.
Okay, a little clingy, but okay, I'll be your friend.
That is amazing. Now, with the explosion of the Punch plushies,
yes,
because they've gone viral, there's going to be a Mo now plushie that people will have to get to complete the set.
At IKEA.
Yeah, there you go. Stay with us more to come after the break on Morning Live. Good morning.
I can tell that we are gonna be friends.